Hello everyone, welcome back to Cinema Savvy and welcome back to another one of our weekly quizzes. This week's topic is going to be on science fiction films, sci-fi films. I am very excited about this one. How are you guys doing today?
Doing very well, and actually it occurred to me before we started the stream, quite unintentionally, we couldn't have picked a better day to do the sci-fi quiz. Today is the 40th anniversary of arguably one of the best sci-fi movies ever made, Empire Strikes Back. So that all worked out really well. So yeah, really hyped to do it. This is sci-fi is like one of our favorite genres. I know that it's got a lot of fans, and I'm seeing the people creeping in at the top corner of all the people joining. So we'll give it a few minutes before getting into the quiz. But yeah, looking forward to this one.
I mean, I wasn't around when Empire came out. That's my kind of go-to line. I think it's the same for all three of us. But it's weird because every day, like Star was like, today was Empire Strike. Not Empire. It is like the other day was like Revenge of the Sith today. Then it was Phantom Menace today, and then it's like here's Empire, and now it's kind of like nothing. I think New Hope's next week. But 40 years, I can't say it's flown by. But I was minus 16 years old.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't actually seen Empire in maybe 2-3 years. I was gonna know. I've seen Empire.
My God, Tate, you don't open a sentence like that, dude.
I've seen Empire. I want to point out I've seen it about 5 times, but it has been a while since I've seen it. So maybe I'll get back onto that this week. But today's topic is not just going to be about Star Wars. It is going to be about the whole kind of spectrum of sci-fi. We're talking old sci-fi, new sci-fi, a little bit in the middle as well. So we hope you guys have your sci-fi heads on ready for this one. We took the feedback from the last one. Some people found it easy, some people found it hard. I think we all agreed that was a pretty good medium in the end for how it was. Saying that, this one will be difficult.
I'd say whether we found that exact balance for this one, that remains to be seen, and I'm sure people will tell us at the very end of the quiz. But we have kept it open, as you just mentioned. Obviously all the genre of sci-fi, but across many different decades, many different kinds of sci-fi films. Sci-fi as a genre is so broad, many different kinds of movies. So we've done our best to try and cover a bigger spectrum as we can to give everyone a fighting shot. Maybe you're more into old school sci-fi, maybe you're into the new. There's hopefully a question in there for everyone. So we'll see. Fingers crossed.
And with changes, we've only got one change. We'll get to it. I'll go through the rules as normal. So round 1 is the general knowledge round. There will be 10 questions, and there will be 10 answers, each worth 1 point. Round 2, again, is the sci-fi round. 10 questions, 1 point per correct answer. The quotes round remains the same. We will read out a quote from a film. You need to guess both the character and the film this is from. And that does include specifics. If it's a franchise film, if it's a specific quote from a said franchise, then you must include the specific film. We won't accept Star Trek for a quote from, what's the recent one? Into Darkness, the one that no one watched? Or was it the anniversary one? Anyway, Beyond. Sorry, it was all right, but no one watched it.
I like Beyond out of the 3.
But we don't have a quote for it, so it's not a spoiler. And the character rounds changed, and posters, we're going to give you guys 20 seconds now rather than the 15 we've previously done. System's still the same for the character. We will put a photo up of a character from a film. You need to guess the character name and the film. I think it's going to be a little bit harder than the animated quiz last week because these are actors. So remember, guess the character, not the actor. 2 points for that round. Poster round is the same old. There's been a Photoshop done properly this time. No Fantasia 2000 difficulty, although one person got it in the comment, which is remarkable. And then you need to guess the film from that, and that's worth £1. So 50 questions in total.
1 point. 1 point, not £1. I was going to say, we're not handing out money on this quiz.
Just like...
There isn't a cash prize, unfortunately. We're broke.
If there ever was a cash prize, we just want to point out that George would be the one funding it as he suggested it. Thank you ever so much, George, for that.
It will be there one day.
I mean, the pound isn't even worth that much now, right? So.
Fun. We'll introduce fun Cinema Savvy dollars, which you can only spend.
It's like Monopoly money.
But all you guys need at home is pen and paper. That's all we're asking you to do: pen and paper and your sci-fi film knowledge. We're just going to give another 2 or 3 minutes before we start the actual quiz. Be sure to follow us on the various different social medias we have. That is Facebook, Cinema Savvy, Twitter @cinema_savvy, and Instagram @cinema_savvy as well. To keep up to date with all of the videos that we have coming out and everything like that. I don't really know what else to say, guys, before we go into this.
I mean, to give them a quick tease, on Saturday we've got another live stream coming. That one's gonna be open to a vote, which we'll put on our social media tonight or tomorrow. Then obviously we'll have another quiz next Thursday, and next Saturday will be the Attack of the not Attack of the Crones. That's a very different idea. Attack of the Clones drink along. And I really hope this was enough time to get you to get your pen and paper, and no, you're not getting attacked by crones. Definitely.
We hope so as well.
I think we should begin when we get 10 people watching. We've got one more person. Spread this around to one person. Oh, we've got 8 now. Damn it! Okay. Maybe we should crack on so we're not stalling as much.
Before we start, please also subscribe, pass on the message of this channel and everything like that. We have so much fun doing this. We have so much fun talking to you guys and putting on these quizzes and all of our watch-alongs as well, and everything that we do on the channel. So it'd be great if you guys could just pass it on to a couple of people, try and get them involved as well. I really like the community that we're building here. So are we ready to go into round 1?
We are. Is everyone ready in the comments? We've got a few people who are doubting themselves, saying that they hope they do better than the animated one. We thought the animated one was more easy, but we'll see. So general knowledge then, round 1.
Brilliant. Okay, is everyone ready? Okay, we're going to start with round 1. Question number 1. Bullet time is a visual effect popularized by which sci-fi film? That is question 1. Bullet time is a visual effect popularized by which sci-fi film? Once again, very difficult not to read the answers.
I mean,
we put them in bold beneath, so that's what gets you right.
It's like a stage direction, like your eyes are just drawn to that. Oh yeah.
Okay, so question number 2. What film came first? Star Trek the Motion Picture or Star Wars? That is, what film came first? Star Trek the Motion Picture or Star Wars?
The ultimate rivalry united by one J.J. Abrams, who decimated both franchises.
I think it's safe. Do you know what? No, to be fair to him, he had one bad Star Trek film out of the 3.
Yeah, but hardcore Trek fans hate those films.
No, they like the first one, like Force Awakens.
There was someone that hates Star Trek. I love the fact he basically made Star Wars as Star Trek and put R2-D2 in it. That's the ultimate trolling. I know I'm completely off topic, but imagine if they'd have put like Spock in Star Wars. I'd have been seething at cinema. Okay. Here we go. Question number 3. How many times did Cage, Tom Cruise, die on screen in Edge of Tomorrow? And this is a multiple choice one, so I'm just going to read the question again, then I'll go through the possible answers that you can give. So, how many times did Cage, the character played by Tom Cruise, die on screen in Edge of Tomorrow? And your 3 options are A, 19 times, B, 32 times, or C, 26 times. So, how many times did Cage, Tom Cruise die on screen in Edge of Tomorrow? A, 19, B, 32, C, 26.
And I mean, the title of this film itself is almost a multiple choice question, right? Edge of Tomorrow, Live, Die, Repeat. Live, Die, Repeat, Repeat might be the sequel name. Who knows?
I like Edge of Tomorrow as just kind of that just generic sci-fi kind of name for a film.
Yeah.
Like, it goes.
But Live, Die, Repeat is awful. That's an awful title.
It's bad title. It goes in the same category like Oblivion or stuff like that.
No, I think the book title was different. I'm not sure.
That's all you need is kill. That was it.
Yeah, that's which is probably the worst title out of all 3.
Yeah. Okay. Question number 4. What famous landmark is seen destroyed at the end of Planet of the Apes 1968?
That's the very first one.
The first one. What famous landmark is seen destroyed at the end of Planet of the Apes 1968? We ain't going near that Tim Burton trash.
No way. Ironically, the first Planet of the Apes film I ever watched was that one. And even as a diehard ride or die Tim Burton fan, I couldn't stand that movie when it came out.
Thank God the first Planet of the Apes film I saw was the original Planet of the Apes film. I feel like I've been raised properly now.
either VHS. It was like black, and you didn't really get black VHS boxes. It was really cool, and I just remember it being so strange.
Okay, question number 5. Which mythical creature appears in origami form at the end of Blade Runner? That's question number 5. Which mythical creature appears in origami form at the end of Blade Runner? Once again, guys, we are allowing joke answers in the comments, just not the actual answers. So if you want to give us your best joke answers, which are nowhere near the truth, then go for it. We may read them out.
Anais says you should watch it as a drunk watch along. I'm assuming she's meaning the Tim Burton Planet of the Apes film.
Oh,
I was thinking, Tom. I thought it meant Edge of Tomorrow because you can have a sip every time he dies, and that's just one rule.
oh.
Rest in peace.
Okay. Question number 6. Mad Max Fury Road and Star Wars The Force Awakens were beaten to the Best Visual Effects Oscar in 2016 by which science fiction film? That is question number 6. Mad Max Fury Road and Star Wars The Force Awakens were beaten to the Best Visual Effects Oscar in 2016 by which science fiction film?
This is quite a tough one, I think, if you don't sort of follow the Oscars. The hardest thing for me is remembering back which films came out which year, because we watch a lot of movies.
Yeah.
Man, Mad Max Fury Road, already 4 years old. Jesus.
5.
5.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah, 5.
if that isn't a clue to what year this film may have come out in, then...
oh, boy.
Okay, question number 7. What is the name of the spaceship from the film Alien? That is question number 7. What is the name of the spaceship from the film Alien?
This might get a few. Some people might get this right. Bit of a deep cut question.
I almost got it right, which was really frustrating.
I say it tends to be that answer that's always on the tip of your tongue, but it's difficult to remember the exact way. Going back to Planet of the Apes, Brinley says, as much as I hate the Tim Burton film, I do like the makeup for the apes. I will agree with that. I do think the makeup is phenomenal in that film. Don't know if it won an Oscar. Can't remember for makeup. Probably should have done.
I think Oscars didn't want to go anywhere near it.
But Jared Leto's Suicide Squad did win one. That category.
Okay, question number 8. A Princess of Mars is the name of a novel adapted into one of the biggest box office bombs of all time. What is the name of the film adaptation? So that's question number 8. A Princess of Mars is the name of a novel adapted into one of the biggest box office bombs of all time. What is the name of the film adaptation?
Not naming names. This is a movie that I still haven't watched. Trailers looked all right, I remember.
I've heard the film itself isn't that bad.
It's not great.
It just didn't get the views in.
It's a film that's... Because it's a famous book, I'm not spoiling this, they're giving that away. Because everything was taken from this book over Sci-Fi over like 100 odd years, there was nothing there for it to show like this is it different. It really wasn't. And I'll talk about the one that did the most damage when we've read the answers out.
Okay, question number 9. Which city is the film District 9 set in? That is, which city is the film District 9 set in? I haven't seen District 9 in a very long time.
Say, are we awarding, if people don't know the city, are we awarding a point for the country?
A half point for the country.
Oh, I almost shouted a quote then, but the accent was giving it away.
I don't know what to think
this
about.
This is in my top 5 films of all time.
I don't know what to think about Neil Blomkamp, though, because like he had such a great hit with the first film. And then he did Elysium, which just wasn't as good. And then Chappie, which I still haven't been able to watch all the way through. Like, I know that he had the brilliant... I've seen the, what's it called? The pre-renders or whatever it is for his version of Alien, which looks fantastic. Like, of how he built that universe. But
And then Ridley Scott got upset that no one wanted to watch Ridley Scott's Prometheus sequel, so they cancelled Blomkamp's interesting because Chappie was unfortunately a music video for Die Antwoord. He did a lot of short films which I've not seen, and he set up his own studio. He's done well off that side of things, and I think he was talking of a RoboCop reboot, which he's left because he's doing his own horror sci-fi film now. But interesting, because I'm always curious because he seems to do his own thing.
Okay, we're going to move on to the final question of round 1. So that is question number 10. What is the name of the planet in the film Avatar? That is question number 10. What is the name of the planet in the film Avatar?
The most overhyped movie that has ever graced our screen.
God damn, balls in space.
I remember the hype for that film. They were saying this is going to be like the next Star Wars. This is the next, the next generation Star Wars.
Visually, the film was fantastic.
Was it though? It was just CGI. Like I've seen CGI in countless films before that point and since.
You know, the gap between Avatar 1 and 2 is going to almost be as big as Return of the Jedi and The Phantom Menace.
Christ.
It's already been 11 years, and I think they're going to delay it because filming stopped.
It's almost like it's divine intervention, isn't it?
It was. I mean, it's the last question, but the reason Avatar was so big was because everyone wanted to see it because it was 3D, and across the 6 months, whatever, every cinema got 3D installed, and that was the film alongside Alice in Wonderland that they play. So it kept making more and more money because every cinema had to convert to 3D to show it. So that's how it went 2.7 billion.
Not only that, but when I went to go see it, it had sold out at all the cinemas. So I went to go see Sherlock Holmes instead, the Robert Downey Jr. one, which I'll be honest was actually quite a fun romper. I quite enjoyed that film. Okay, I'm going to go back through the questions quickly before we move on to round 2. But I'm going to give you guys less time between them, so I'm just going to rattle through them. Question number 1. Bullet time is a visual effect popularized by which sci-fi film? Question number 2. What came first, Star Trek, the motion picture, or Star Wars? Question number 3. How many times did Cage, Tom Cruise's character, die on screen in Edge of Tomorrow? That is A, 19, B, 32, C, 26. Question number 4. What famous landmark is seen destroyed at the end of Planet of the Apes 1968? Question number 5. Which mythical creature appears in origami form at the end of Blade Runner? Question number 6. I don't know if I read 6 on the last one or not, but that was 5. This one's 6. Mad Max Fury Road and Star Wars The Force Awakens were beaten to the Best Visual Effects Oscar in 2016 by which science fiction film? Question number 7. What is the name of the spaceship from the film Alien? Question number 8. A Princess of Mars is the name of a novel adapted into one of the biggest box office bombs of all time. What is the name of the film adaptation? Question number 9. Which city is District 9 set in? And question number 10. What is the name of the planet in the film Avatar?
So before we move on, if everyone just lets us know if you've got all those answers down, if you need us to read out any of the questions again, we'll give everyone plenty of time on that one. How did everyone do in it? How are we all doing post round 1? Are we feeling confident? Are we feeling like we can take on the world with this, or is it the beginning of the end after round 1?
I think it was harder than last week, but that's because I think as a genre it's very different and it's a lot broader. Putting that politely,
I think the biggest difference here is you can be. I wouldn't say it's more difficult to be a casual sci-fi fan than it is to be a casual animated films fan, but animated films is normally targeted at a much kind of broader appeal audience. With a lot of sci-fi films and a lot of the films that we go through on this list, it's hard sci-fi. It's stuff that you really have to get into the actual universe and everything like that to fully understand. And with a lot of animated films, they don't go into that depth. They have that kind of surface level, this is the film, this is the story, and that's the end of it. Which I guess is why Toy Story films have done so well, because they've actually built up the universe. They've had time to build up the characters over the sequels and everything like that, and you can get into, I wouldn't say the lore, but you can get into that kind of, you know...
Like the Cars trilogy.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of people saying that they're all done. They're finding it a little hard, but not as hard as animation. Yeah, a lot of people are saying animation was really difficult, but hey, right. I think we should move on to round 2 then.
You shout. This is not the sci-fi round, the soundtrack round. Sorry, I was reading the prompter far too much. So I'm going to follow Tayte's lead and read these out twice. Question number 1. How many times was John Williams nominated for Best Original Score at the Oscars for the Star Wars films? And that's how many times was John Williams nominated for Best Original Score at the Oscars for the Star Wars films? And of course, there have been 11 films in total. So it's kind of multiple choice to a degree.
Mm-hmm.
Question number.
Go on, sorry. No, go on. Go on. Continue. Fine. Yeah.
Question number 2. Which British band created the soundtrack to Flash Gordon? It's really hard to say that and actually.
I know.
Yeah. In my head right now. So it's number 2. Which British band created the soundtrack to Flash Gordon?
You're just thinking dun 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 dun. Yeah. Have we all seen Flash Gordon?
I've only ever seen it once, I saw it a couple of years. I say a couple of years ago, probably about. They released an anniversary. I'm going to say 30th because I think my dad bought it to me, and I was like, "What on earth is this?"
It's decent though. I can see why it's got the charm.
It was on TV about a month ago, and I came in about 20 minutes into it and just watched the entire film. It was great.
Mm-hmm.
Brian Blessed is amazing.
Yeah,
and on Side Out too.
If George Lucas had been able to direct Flash Gordon, there'd be no Star Wars. What a difference the world could be. Question number 3. Who composed the soundtrack to Blade Runner? And this is the first Blade Runner film. So who composed the soundtrack to Blade Runner?
Probably one of the best soundtracks ever made, I'd say. It's definitely in probably my top 5, actually. Maybe even my top 3 for films. It's a good chilled out soundtrack. Just throw it on when you're all brooding and it's raining outside and you're pretending you're in a noir or something.
Or you're just like lying down in bed waiting to go to sleep, and it's just synths.
Yeah.
Right, guys, let's get some Frenchness. Question number 4. Je ne regrette rien was slowed down and used as inspiration for which film's soundtrack? That's a song by Edith Piaf. I will happily give that away. Je ne regrette rien was slowed down and used as inspiration for which film soundtrack?
If we have any French viewers watching, I am so sorry.
Please, no. If we have any French viewers watching, please rip into George for his pronunciation there.
You know what? I'm just going to say I could have sung it like the film. I'm not going to say, obviously, the film, because that's the answer. But this may be my favorite soundtrack of history. And this is a great song to listen to in the car.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone looking like, what's this weirdo listening to French music for? And I'm just there, like, getting in the gist. Anyway, moving on. Speaking, oh god, I must get that right. Question number 5: what was the name of the 2010 film that Daft Punk released the soundtrack to? What was the name of the 2010 film that Daft Punk released the soundtrack to? Now, this is also my top 5 soundtracks.
Mm.
Actually, a soundtrack I haven't listened to. Well, I mean, I haven't even seen the movie, so I haven't.
Well,
I was going to say, is there any hidden gem soundtracks that you guys would recommend? Like ones which not the obvious ones.
For sci-fi? For sci-fi soundtracks?
Yeah, sci-fi, yeah. If there is any.
You know what? I'm just going to say it. Dark Phoenix's score, the first 2 songs are actually incredible. And then you can just get it off. It's on my Best of Hans Zimmer playlist.
Is that sci-fi? That's more comic book, though, isn't it?
True.
Oh, it's got space in there, sure.
It's got space.
And this weird alien thing. Just because I'm saying. Keep thinking that. We'll drop another one in the next sort of gap between questions. Mm-hmm. Question number 6. Michael Giacchino won his only Oscar for Star Trek from 2009. True or false? So that's question 6. Michael Giacchino won his only Oscar for Star Trek. True or false?
For me, there's very few soundtracks that I listen to on repeat, and I've made like a film score, movie score playlist and everything like that. There is one that keeps on coming up, and I actually argued for it in the Battle of the Brackets, but it didn't make it past round 1. I think it was up against Blade Runner, but that is Oblivion 2013, soundtrack done by M83, and honestly, every single track in there feels authentic and fits in the film, and it's almost better than the film itself, the soundtrack, which is quite interesting.
Question number 7. which David Bowie song, or Bowie, people choose to pronounce it different, which David Bowie song was used in Guardians of the Galaxy 2014? First one. Question number 7, which David Bowie song was used in Guardians of the Galaxy?
I just thought of one soundtrack. It's probably not a good one to just sort of listen to on its own, but it's one that really does serve the film, and that's Johan Johansson's song from Arrival. Music and sort of that communication level and the sound in that film definitely plays a big part in it, and that was one that was very haunting and alien and weird and really suited the film. Not particularly one that you're going to listen to or throw on your iPod or something like that, but oh god, I just showed my age there, didn't I? iPod, Jesus.
Question number 8. Which 1958 rock and roll song did Marty McFly perform as an encore at the Enchantment Under the Sea dance in Back to the Future? Just to make that crystal clear. Question number 8. Which 1958 rock and roll song did Marty McFly perform as an encore at the Enchantment Under the Sea dance? I've not seen Arrival still. I've had it on Blu-ray for many years. I've been kind of going through Denis Villeneuve films.
You'll like it, I think.
I mean, I've been distracted by rewatching far too much Star Wars stuff, as usual. I finished Rebels, though, now, so I can finally get some more Denis Villeneuve films. But if they're going to postpone June, I might just hold off. Anyway, question number 9. How many musical tones are originally communicated to the mothership in Close Encounters of the Third Kind? That's question number 9. How many musical tones are originally communicated to the mothership in Close Encounters of the Third Kind?
And feel free to sing along at home to work this question out if you need to.
Seriously, as soon as I suggested this question, Chris was there literally counting them on his fingers. He's like going through. He's like, okay, I got it. Yeah. So maybe that would help at home if you were counting them out, listening into it in your head, and then going, okay, that's how many I need to put down for my answer.
Question number 10. Which famous singer stars in and provided the main title track for Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome? It's Mad Max 3 for those that needed help with that. Which famous singer stars in and provided the main title track for Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome?
So got a comment from Cole Roberts when we talk about soundtracks. He says, honestly, a little unknown, but listen to the K-Pax soundtrack. I just checked. That's done by Edward Shearmer, who did the music to that. I've never seen that film. I've never listened to the soundtrack, but I'll give some tracks from that a listen.
A non-sci-fi soundtrack. I don't know if it's under the radar, but Last Samurai is one of my favorites of all time. And I was disappointed when I saw Zimmer many times that it's never been in his live performance, because that's the best chill-out music I've probably ever heard for a soundtrack.
The soundtrack to Gattaca is also fantastic.
Has anyone seen Gattaca? Please put that in the comments so you can explain.
Please.
That's a question that's cropped up many a time. Because I'm actually curious. But I'm going to go through them all quickly again for you all. So going back, question number 1. How many times was John Williams nominated for Best Original Score at the Oscars for the Star Wars films? Question number 2. Which British band created the soundtrack to Flash Gordon? Question number 3. Who composed the original Blade Runner score? Question number 4. Je ne regrette rien was slowed down and used as inspiration for which film soundtrack? Question number 5. What was the name of the 2010 film that Daft Punk released the soundtrack to? Question number 6. Michael Giacchino won his only Oscar for Star Trek. True or false?
That's the 2009 one, by the way.
Yeah. Question number 7. Which David Bowie song was used in Guardians of the Galaxy, the first Guardians of the Galaxy film? Question number 8. Which 1958 rock and roll song did Marty McFly perform as an encore at the Enchantment Under the Sea dance in Back to the Future? Question number 9. How many musical tones are originally communicated to the mothership in Close Encounters of the Third Kind? And question number 10. Which famous singer stars in and provided the main title track for Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome?
Boom. So, again, let us all know how you're faring after round 2. The task falls to me again to do the quotes round, which is the next round. We will be giving the answers to rounds 1, 2, and 3 following this next round, round 3. So don't worry, you haven't missed the answers yet. We will get to that after the next round.
And let us know quickly how you thought of the soundtrack round, because I don't know. Soundtrack rounds are definitely between us the hardest ones to do, because we want to get a variation of like composers, soundtracks, films, songs used in films. So that's been, I think, the hardest one between us, I want to say. Not necessarily hard.
Oh, we have lost George.
We have lost George.
Okay, whilst we tread time,
just how he's frozen.
I'm back.
He's back.
Before we get to the next round, we will be announcing at the end of this quiz what our quiz for next week is. So while we're on a bit of a downtime, I'm going to throw up the socials there again. We're going to let those run for a bit. So feel free to note those down. Follow us on there, and we will be announcing times and stuff and all the other shows that we've got coming up, because we've got some good stuff coming up. So round 3, quotes. So there are 2 points per question up for grabs with this one. So we need the name of the character that says the quote and the film that the quote is from. So 2 points for each one. Here we go. Question number 1. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. That's question 1. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
This quote was originally
We'll get
different.
Give the answer away in case they're thinking of the other one.
No one's thinking of the other one.
The other one, George.
The only people who are thinking of the other one are you and the director itself. I was going to give the name away there, but maybe not. Okay, question 2. Pray for me. That's not the quote. I need your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle. Question 2. I need your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle. Film buff, looking at you. Play along at home. Don't spoil it for other people. Thank you. We always get one. We always get one. There's always one. I thought we didn't do the disclaimer that much today, but there's always one. It's okay, film buff. We won't hold it against you. Just don't do it again. Question 3. I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that. Question 3. I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that. I don't know how difficult these are. Are these? Would you say these are difficult so far? A little bit challenging, maybe?
So, I mean, I'll be honest. On this round, I get 100%. Okay,
this next quote's interesting because it basically contains every single sci-fi thing ever. So, question 4. Silence, Earthling. My name is Darth Vader. I'm an extraterrestrial from the planet Vulcan. That's question 4. Silence, Earthling. My name is Darth Vader. I'm an extraterrestrial from the planet Vulcan. Brinsley said, I watched this film yesterday. I'm not sure when he sent that, so that could be any of the previous 4 questions that we've done.
Question 3. This could be a good one.
Okay, question 5. You have 20 seconds to comply. Question 5. You have 20 seconds to comply.
And 20 seconds to answer the question.
Okay, question 6. Your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think if they should. Question 6. Your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think if they should.
And that's a description of putting bleach into your body to cure yourself coronavirus.
Oh no, he's popping pills now, isn't he? That was the next thing.
Yeah, he's on malaria tablets, isn't he?
It's like putting Mentos into a Coke bottle by the sounds of it. Jesus. Okay, question 7. You know what the difference is between you and me? I make this look good. Question 7. You know what the difference is between you and me? I make this look good.
I can hear that you wanted to say that.
All
of the inflections.
I'll throw them a bone. I'll give them a couple of inflections on it. Okay, Brinsley says he's definitely doing a lot better this week. That's good. That's good. Question 8. Might be a bit of an easy one for you sci-fi fans. I've seen things you people wouldn't believe. Question 8. I've seen things you people wouldn't believe. Remember, we need character and film. 2 points. Okay, question 9. Return my treasure to me, and I myself will carry you through the gates of Valhalla. Question 9. Return my treasures to me, and I myself will carry you through the gates of Valhalla. Such a badass quote.
It's part of an incredible scene.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know the whole film's the scene, but you know.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was going to say. Okay, and the final question from round 3. If you will not turn to the dark side, then perhaps she will. If you will not turn to the dark side, then perhaps she will. So I'm going to go through these again in a second. I'll give everyone a bit of time to write that last one down. Shouldn't need all too long on that last one, hopefully. Okay, so going back through them again. Question 1. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. Question 2. I need your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle. Question 3. I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that. Question 4. Silence, Earthling. My name is Darth Vader. I am an extraterrestrial from the planet Vulcan. Question 5. You have 20 seconds to comply. 6. Your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think if they should. 7. Do I put the inflection in there again? You know what the difference is between you and me? I make this look good. Question 8. I've seen things you people wouldn't believe. Question 9. Return my treasures to me, and I myself will carry you through the gates of Valhalla. And question 10. If you will not turn to the dark side, then perhaps she will.
Oh, let's just did the quote afterwards.
It's instinctive, isn't it? It's like a reflex response. So let us know if you got all of those, if you need any of them repeating, because we are going to go through the answers. But I know that the quotes one, you've got to write 2 things down. If you need more time on it, let us know. If you need any repeating, let us know as well.
So, guys, we hope that you have furiously scribbled down the first 3 rounds, as we are going to be going back through the answers in just a second. Just going to pull it back to round 1 before we get to the actual answers. Okay, is everyone ready in the chat? I'm seeing people saying they've nailed round 3. I'm seeing a lot of people who are very positive about how this quiz has gone so far.
Maybe we made this one too easy.
I'm telling you, we should have thrown in some questions about Gattaca. Okay, so general knowledge, round 1. Okay, question number 1. Bullet time is a visual effect popularized by which sci-fi film? That was The Matrix, the original one. Question number 2. What came first, Star Trek, the motion picture, or Star Wars? It was Star Wars. I know that Star Trek had their TV show beforehand, but Star Trek, the motion picture, came out after Star Wars.
Yep, 2 years after. I just double-checked. So motion picture came out 2 years after. That was 1979. Original Star Wars, 1977.
Question number 3.
I also want to watch Fanboys if you've not. If you want to get a taste into that rivalry, one of the truly feel-good films of the century.
Mm-hmm.
Question number 3. How many times did Cage, Tom Cruise's character, die on screen in Edge of Tomorrow? It was C26. He dies 26 times. So if we were ever to do a drunk watch-along, that would be 26 shots or sips throughout the film.
It'd be interesting to compare that to Groundhog Day, which one he dies more in. I think narratively...
Groundhog Day he dies more.
I think if you work it out narratively, he probably dies thousands of times in Groundhog Day. But on screen, it'd be interesting to know how many times he dies on screen.
Okay.
So tomorrow, they make up there's like hundreds. But yeah, anyway, different conversation.
Question number 4. What famous landmark is seen destroyed at the end of Planet of the Apes 1968? That is the Statue of Liberty. And if you watch Futurama, it's like followed by the monkeys destroying their civilization, the parrots destroying their civilization, the weird space people. Like it goes on. It's quite a good gag they do in the show. Question number 5: which mythical creature appears in origami form at the end of Blade Runner? A unicorn, an origami unicorn, at the end of Blade Runner. We're very careful with that question because I believe that's in every cut of Blade Runner.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
there was a point where we were possibly going to include the unicorn dream, but then we realized that's only in the final cut.
That was all B-roll from Ridley Scott's other movie, Legend. He just lumped some unicorn extra footage in there and changed the entire way that you view Blade Runner.
Number 6: Mad Max Fury Road and Star Wars Force Awakens are beaten to the Best Visual Effects Oscars in 2016 by which science fiction film? It is Ex Machina. Fantastic science fiction film, if I say so myself.
I'd say that's probably the hardest question out of the lot. In just pinning that year down, but what a film! Ex Machina, easily one of the best sci-fi films in the last decade.
And that's one of the biggest Oscar upsets I've kind of seen, was the 5-10 million low budget film up against the 250 million Return of Star Wars. That's my first ever stream, and no one was upset they didn't win that.
No,
that was a great night.
What is the name of the spaceship from the film Alien? That is the Nostromo. The Nostromo.
You want to spell that out for people? We take spelling into account.
Sure. Nostromo. Nostromo. Question number 8. A Princess of Mars is the name of a novel adapted into one of the biggest box office bombs of all time. What is the name of the film adaptation? It is John Carter.
The scene stolen I mentioned is the arena from Attack of the Clones.
Yeah, I remember that. There's those big hairy gorilla things he fights, right? I remember that, and that's the only thing about the trailer that I remember.
Because everyone's like, "Oh, look, it's Geonosis." Like, no, that came first, but Star Wars.
Okay. Question number 9. Which city is District 9 set in? That is Johannesburg. Joburg.
That's a terrible accent thing.
I know, it's awful. I thought, do I go with the accent? Do I not? And I just kind of half went into it. So, forgive me for that. I'm not good at
we can't
accent.
We can't accept South Africa, can we? Is that half point? Half point for South Africa.
Dare I say a quarter point? I mean, the entire film's set there. It's like you should know.
And we did say city.
Yeah. What is the name of the planet in the film Avatar? That is Pandora, as in Pandora's box. I wonder where they got inspiration for that. Ooh.
Well, didn't that seal all the evils inside of it? It's quite fitting, really, then, isn't it? We're just trying to keep that lid sealed on Avatar 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, however many he's got planned. The guy's a madman. He needs to be stopped. But speaking of John Carter and Geonosis, remember to tune in, not this Saturday, the following Saturday, for what might be one of the greatest drunk watch-alongs you've ever witnessed in your life, Attack of the Clones, Star Wars Episode 2. We will have more details. Follow us on socials for that. Cannot wait for that.
Okay, moving on to round.
Sorry, I forgot. That was me. Question number 1.
Oh, hang on. Before we do, Brinsley says, I put both for District 9. Is that
no, 1 point? 1 point.
1 point.
Sci-Fi round, sorry. Question number 1. How many times was John Williams nominated for Best Original Score at the Oscars for the Star Wars films? The answer is 6. It's a travesty. He wasn't nominated for a single one for the prequels.
Even though, objectively, they're probably
the best soundtracks, like as in the whole album together. Better than probably the original.
3. Certainly 3. Yeah.
And yeah. It's because, back then you weren't allowed to say you like Star Wars, so didn't even win Best Visual Effects. Anyway, question number 2. Which British band created the soundtrack to Flash Gordon? It was Queen. Maybe the easiest question on the entire quiz tonight.
Yeah, but you've got to throw some softball ones in there.
Yeah, exactly. We're not that harsh. Question number 3. Who composed the original Blade Runner score? The answer was Vangelis. Question number 4. Je ne regrette rien was slowed down and used as inspiration for which film soundtrack? If you didn't already guess it, I'm a big hint. This is my favorite soundtrack of all time. The answer is Inception. If you didn't know it was slowed down, there's an amazing video on YouTube where it's even into sync with other things. But anyway, the Tenet trailer is due out tonight. So yeah.
It was an inspired choice, though, wasn't it? I don't know if that was Nolan's idea with the film. If it was Zimmer seeing that song used in the film and decided to slow it down.
Sorry, my friends actually texted me 20 seconds ago. The Tenet trailer is being released at 8 p.m. ET tonight, which I think is 1 a.m.
Ridiculous time in the morning.
George will be staying up
for that. Being released on Fortnite. What is this obsession with Fortnite?
No.
If I'm still up, we might have a live reaction tonight, potentially.
It's been decided. Anyway, yes, that was actually really good timing. No joke, that text came through at the exact same time. Sorry, question number 5. What was the name of the 2010 film that Daft Punk released the soundtrack to? That is Tron Legacy. Disney's one of the best franchises, and it's the franchise that seems to cancel everything for.
I'm going to give a shout out to George as well for providing the very nice Tron Legacy inspired font right there that we're using today. The very nice blue neon. Loving it.
Star Wars was too easy, wasn't it? Like, it was
yeah.
Question 6. Michael Giacchino won his only Oscar for Star Trek 2009. True or false? The answer was false. He won his Oscar for Up the year before. I do like his Star Trek sport, though. Question number 7. Which David Bowie song was used in Guardians of the Galaxy? The answer is Moonage Daydream. It's when Chris Pratt is in that weird planet that's a skull or something, isn't it? Question number 8. Which 1958 rock and roll song did Marty Mcfly perform as an encore at the Enchantment Under the Sea dance? The song is called Johnny Be Good. We're not going to employ you on your spelling or deduct marks. Just Johnny Be Good is fine. Question number 9. How many musical tones are originally communicated to the mothership in Close Encounters of the Third Kind? The answer is 5.
Bum, 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 bum.
That is literally a music question within a music question in a music round. It's amazing. No, I love that.
Question number 10. Which famous singer stars in and provided the main title track for Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome? The answer is Tina Turner. Sorry.
That dramatic pause.
She's appeared in 2 of our 3 quizzes.
Question. Okay, we'll move on to the next round.
Yeah, she's like a little inside mascot of our quizzes so far, isn't she? 2 of the 3 quizzes so far.
She's going to sing for our intro next.
Okay. Sci-fi quotes, Chris. Are you going to do the accents?
Oh god, some of these I don't know. No, we're going to skip the accents. If there's a demand for it in the comments, I might attempt some. Some are just kind of people's voices.
And then we will pause because I'm sure there will be a demand in the comments.
Oh, if people... Okay, we're going to have to split these up again, though. Me, you, Tayte. I want 10, so if I do all the even number ones, because it means I get to do the Arnie one.
Nah, because you do 7 really good. Can I take 8?
Sure.
So we'll swap those 2 over. I'm just going to look. Okay.
Do we want to read these out in the character voice as best as we can, or do you guys just want the answers and to crack on with round 4? Because I'm fine with that too.
There is a bit of a delay on the stream anyway, so it may be just a minute before we get the answers.
Read round 1, and then I'll talk about the issue we had. Not round 1, question 1. Sorry, I'm all nerding out.
This is the one where he's dying, isn't it? So it's the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. That is Spock from Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan.
And guys in the comments, what this should have been, what this could have been, what I campaigned for this day was Transformers 3, Sentinel Prime. The needs of the few outweigh the needs of the many. I was going to catch someone off guard with that, but alas, democracy prevails.
Do you think Go on, sorry. No,
I'll say, if you guys would have rather had the Transformers comment, please comment below.
Do you think Leonard Nimoy just audibly groaned when he read that line in the script, or do you think he just thought, I'm getting paid, I don't care. What's this gig for? Is this Star Trek? What am I in? What is this?
Do you think that he ever watched it? Like, because there's that, is this the one where Spock dies? And do you think like there was all them Star Trek references, and then it's the like, I've not even seen Wrath of Khan. So to me, that quote's more Transformers still.
It's a famous quote. It's a famous quote from it.
It's probably the most famous quote on the list that we've got there. Maybe outside of Tears and Rain, obviously.
Oh, we have a comment. Marco, that's where I know it from, George. Yes.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
As screamed in Arrested Development, there are dozens of us.
Okay. Question 2. I need your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle. That is the T-800 or Arnie from T2. I think we're going to play ball on this one. I think we'll accept Arnold Schwarzenegger because we got a bit of flack for the very unfair characters from our first quiz we did on action. So that was the T-800 or Arnie from Terminator 2, T2, Terminator 2, Judgment Day. Any of those titles will do fine.
I need to get into my blandest voice here. I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that. And that is HAL 9000 from 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Very, very... It's a film you have to see.
Oh, it's fantastic to watch.
It's a very arduous... Yeah, exactly.
I saw that at cinema, and it's the first and only time in my lifetime there's been an intermission in an actual cinema. And I was like, what's happening? It was Champions League night, so I just went straight on my phone for 10 minutes. But it just felt so grim, like so strange.
So how films used to be, though. They used to be almost like a theatre experience, didn't they, back in the day? You need one for that film, though. Yeah. Okay, so... Oh, okay. Silence, Earthling! My name is Darth Vader. I am an extraterrestrial from the planet Vulcan. That is Marty Mcfly from Back to the Future. It's when he dresses in like the hazmat suit and comes to see George McFly play some Van Halen on the cassette player. Great scene.
I don't think this one can be done without like augmenting my voice, but I'll give it a go. You have 20 seconds to comply. It's really low.
Like, you have 20 seconds to comply.
You have 20 seconds to comply. That's Ed 209 RoboCop.
20 seconds to comply, you have.
To comply? No, I can't. No, I'll stop. Chris, you got the next two.
Okay, right. Oh my god, I can't Goldblum. I can't do Jeff Goldblum. No one can. Only Goldblum can Goldblum. I'm not even going to attempt it.
Goldblum. George.
No, I can't do it in an American accent, but isn't it kind of like oh no, because I want to embarrass myself.
Go on, George.
Isn't he like
I think they should.
It's like you signed. Oh, I can't do it. No, he just says between all the words, but I can't remember where he.
Your scientists were preoccupied. He doesn't say like that in the film, though. Your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think if they should. I'm ruling that one out. I can't do it. That's Ian. That's Ian Malcolm from Jurassic Park. Are we opening that one to Jeff Goldblum? I feel like we need to.
Dr. Ian Malcolm.
Dr. Ian Malcolm.
Yeah, I think we should open that to Goldblum. Yeah, why not? We've let Arnie through. We'll let Jeff in.
Yeah, and
that's the only one we're letting through.
Guys, if we're not accepting any other answers on this one, you would have seen our live stream and you would know the answer to this one. So, Chris,
if you don't get this right, this is your penance. So because you're not watching it. You know what the difference is between you and me? Hang on, where are my shades? I don't have my shades. I needed these. I make this look good. That is Agent J from Men in Black.
Now, the other ridiculously famous quote on here. I've seen things you people would not believe. Attack ships on fire. I'm not going to go into full quote, but that is Roy Batty from Blade Runner. Fantastic quote from the film.
Some of which was improvised, I believe.
Yeah, we had so many options here. We possibly going to go for Gat, which would have been a great quote. But no, I think this one we landed on in the end was probably the easiest of them. I've also got the next one as well, but I can't do this accent, so this should be.
How's your Immortan Joe?
How's your Immortan Joe, George?
I don't have a mask, but I try to cover my hand and my.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, if you cover your hand and do an English accent.
On my phone, yes. No. Kind of like it's like gritted like a. Return my treasures to me, and I myself will carry you through the gates of Valhalla. That was some good. Optimus Prime. Sorry, I sort of ended up.
I hope you guys are enjoying these at home.
So if anyone didn't get it, that was Immortan Joe from Mad Max Fury Road.
Yeah, we could have had Remember Me.
You should have just been mediocre.
Yeah, that's my favorite one. And question 10. If you will not turn to the dark side, then perhaps she will.
Never.
Yeah. Darth Vader from Return of the Jedi. Star Wars Episode 6, Star Wars Return of the Jedi, ROTJ, any of
Anakin
those.
Skywalker will accept that as well.
Not James Earl Jones, not Mufasa.
No.
We wanted a Dave Prowse farmer accent. No, I'm joking. Right, that was rounds 1 to 3. We hope you've took enough time off for you to count them up. So that's out of 40. Yes? No?
So far, yep. 10 points first. Yep. 40. Yep.
So we want to know how you guys are doing out of 40 so far. Please tip down in the comments how well you guys are doing.
Because now we're going on to the picture round. Sorry, something really intriguing popped up there. Anyway, what am I on about? So, shall I give him another couple of seconds, or shall?
Do you want to explain the rules for round 4 again?
Yeah. George?
I'm sorry, Ewan McGregor's doing a private signing and he's letting people do quotes. And I was just sat there thinking, like, where do you start?
Hello there.
Right, we've got a couple of people. Carl Roberts, 30 out of 40 so far. I'm happy with that. Samantha Jones, 34 out of 40. Very good numbers there. We've got Cryptic Marco doing good at the moment. Brinsley, 32 out of 40. Guys, I think this is going well.
It's a competitive week.
Very tight.
If it helps anyone, I'm scoring 40 out of 40 so far because I've got the answers in front of me. In fact, I'm scoring 70 out of 40 because I can see the answers to the next questions as well.
And the next question is the photo round. So I shall put a photo up of a character from a film, and you need to guess the name of the character and the film itself. You'll get 20 seconds per photo now, and then we'll repeat them after each round. They'll get, what is it, 5 or 10 seconds? 10 seconds, yeah. Isn't it? So you've really got 30 seconds total. And question number 1 on the photo round. I'm going to wait for it to get to a nice even timer.
Remember, 2 points.
2 points now. Name the film and character. Sorry, I need to add that. Guys, if Ewan McGregor's going to write you a quote on paper, you've got 6 words. What are you going to ask him to write?
Hello there. That's all you have to write. Seriously.
Another happy landing.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's got to be hello there. It's got to be hello there, hasn't it? Yeah. Let's be fair.
Question.
So uncivilized, maybe. You could have so uncivilized.
Oh, it's over, Anakin. I have the high ground.
Oh, it's over, Anakin. I have.
Oh, 8, mate. Two words off.
Yeah.
You were the chosen one.
Yes, that's a good one.
Question number 3.
That one might be the hardest of this round, I'd say.
Now,
actually, no. The next one's the hardest of this round.
Is that definitely from the film it's from? I'm going to need to try and word this.
I had to research this to make sure I got it right.
Okay.
I've sent you guys a private message. Question number 4. Remember, actually, this one, that's not really hard, is it?
That random.
I have no idea what that. Honestly, at this stage, I'm looking at. I still don't know what it is. Like I probably even get the film wrong. It'd be like
that random chaotic jumble of gears and wheels.
Sorry, this photo it was impossible to get the photo without someone else being in it, which is why it looks so strange and the kid looks traumatized.
We want the kid in the red hoodie.
Yes.
Not out of focus person, bottom left of screen.
I'm sorry. I just it's the way that it's framed. Kind of. I don't mean to be rude here.
Let's go to question 6.
Well, I mean, we had a quest. We had the whole concept of ET and the finger, right? But now it's. I guess they're switching.
Question 7.
Bit of
this is probably
sci-fi here.
Old school sci-fi.
Had to throw it in there. We had to.
Mm-hmm.
Question 8.
I really want to say the quote now. from this scene.
I did not murder him. We can say the quote. We can say the quote.
Yeah.
Question 9.
That one's difficult.
Yeah.
For me, anyway. For me. Tayte, you came up with that one.
I know, and I still think it's a difficult one.
Might have some fans out there. Might have some fans.
It's not Uncharted. Starring Tom Holland. Question 10.
Hey, this adventure reminds me of that really old movie, Indiana Jones.
Right, that was the photo round. That was round 4. Commenters, let us know how it's going so far.
Are we going back?
Go back through them very
quickly.
quickly.
We're gonna give you 10 seconds. So jumping back to question number 1.
If you guys do need some extra time after we've gone through them all, we will bring up specific ones if you need us to.
Question 2.
Dodge this.
Question 3. Question 4.
That is just.
I
It
don't
was
know.
the best picture I could get.
I don't know what that is.
5.
I guess with that picture specifically, though, the one that we just had, that can be any of them because that is just a character picture.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, I mean, you're not gonna not get it right.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Question 7.
I feel like the difficulty has ramped up in this round.
Mm-hmm.
Question 8.
Well, it was all to play for, wasn't it? So this is going to separate some people, maybe.
Question 9. Remember, got to guess the film. Key thing for this one. Film. That's a big giveaway by just reiterating that. And question 10.
Okay, so I guess people, let us know how you're doing. Did you get them all? Do you need us to go back through any of those 10?
I mean, we're about to go on the hardest round. Make no mistake, guys. I have done different shapes this week. So some I'm proud of, some I don't have a clue what was going on, but I went with it anyway. And you will know exactly what one that is when it appears on screen. But are we ready to crack into the final round? To people
just
a couple more
yes. Yeah, we'll just wait for some comments to come in.
Guys, if you want that Obi-Wan Kenobi autograph, unfortunately, you have to get your items to America by June the 8th. So that's 2 weeks. No one from England's getting that because of everything.
Mm-hmm.
So that's ahead. Anyway, and we don't have an Obi-Wan Kenobi photo. We did tinker with the idea, but the closest thing we could have done was his beard, but you'd all know it's him still.
There's future potential for a Star Wars centric quiz. You might see that amazing beard in that quiz sometime in the future.
That's why, like, we've tried to avoid franchises. We've got obviously a couple in there, but you know, we've not just gone bosh. Here's 10 Star Wars questions, and we've made that pretty consistent, I think, across the three. Especially animated, we're trying to split evenly of Disney, DreamWorks, and all the other ones. But anyway, right, guys, it's time for round number 5. So we are going to begin with, remember, guess the poster. Sorry, guess the film the poster is from beginning now. This one might be quite hard. But
it's got the color scheme.
Yeah.
Clue. Question 2.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Can I spoil it and say it's not C-3PO?
I guess we can say that C-3PO was based.
Yeah.
The look was based of this film.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Question 3.
Oh, that's
That's fair. That's fair.
I think you can get it. I think you can get it. There's a big clue with the shape.
Yeah. I get that.
I mean, obviously, we're going to show the posters after we've gone through all of them. Question 4. This is probably the hardest one.
Yeah. Wow.
2 possible answers for this one, I guess. Well, no, there is only one answer. But if I was doing this quiz, I would narrow this down to 2.
My mind would immediately go somewhere.
Yeah, same.
Question 5.
Where you want it to go.
That's cool.
I adore this. We almost had this in the quotes round. But it was just a trolling. That would have been too mean if we went for that.
It's like Mewtwo. Like...
One of the best sound effects after the seismic charge. That's a clue. Question 6. Look at that. That rises and light to meet it.
Look at Look at that generic orange and blue color scheme that's used on every movie poster now.
The best thing is the costume one of the characters wears in this film, because it's not a costume, it's turning up to work. Sorry, guys, question 7. This is where it went a bit out of control. I was tinkering with things, and then it started curving. I was like, oh, you know what?
He was mirroring, he was flipping, he was flopping, he was doing all kinds of weird shit.
And I've cut that in a specific way, which I'll talk about later on. Question 8. A very low-key film.
I really wanted the computer from this film and the characters round.
No, we've already done one Kevin Spacey joke. Not today. Not every week.
We've already got Tina Turner as kind of the mascot. We don't want Kevin Spacey as a mascot. Please no.
Oh, you know, I've started watching Phone Jack or Face Jacker, and he started his career off doing Kevin Spacey impressions on the BBC. And I thought, Christ almighty, what a legend. Question 10. I don't know this. I think this one's easy. Not because I know it, but I feel that if you pair up things you see, there are hints.
I don't know why I just read my brain was reading that as DiCaprio there.
Yeah, I read that as DiCaprio as well. I was like, he was in that film? Where?
So that was the question. We're going to go through them again for the postage. You're going to get 10 seconds each. I think that's going to be enough time. So 3, 2, 1. Also comment which is the hardest from this round and what's too extreme and what's not, because it's kind of fun doing the photo shots, but it's also quite hard because you want to put clues in, but not too easy clues, but one that's not, you know, too hard.
So that's question 3.
Question 3, sorry, yeah. I think this one's easy.
Yeah, I think that one.
And I put a clue in I'd probably need to do.
That one's hard. Like I'd say that.
Question 5.
All the comments have stopped. Everyone's concentrating so hard.
I know.
Question 6. Guys, which hair would you rather have, left or right?
I'll probably go for the right because it looks like the guy on the left's got a massive receding hairline.
Question 8.
Which I don't know anything about.
Question 7.
If we're saying it for this one, definitely top. I definitely don't want the hair of the person at the bottom.
Tayte, phrasing.
Imagine me 950,000 miles away from home. What an absolute legend on the left. Chris, you know, you probably looked at it and thought,
I know.
The worst thing is I was going to do the eyes, but I thought I'd get me and you would probably get the eyes, but I don't know if other people could. I couldn't be that mean.
Yeah.
You just wait until we get the character round on the Star Wars quiz, my friend.
Oh, right. That was all of them.
Okay. So we'll get...
Comment, guys.
Yes.
Comment first. We'll give you a couple more seconds. Marco put 2 and 4 was the hardest.
Agree with that.
I'll agree with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, let us know how you all did. We'll get once we get some feedback and stuff like that. We'll move into the answers for rounds 4 and 5.
And yes, that was all the questions for today. It went swimmingly.
And let us know if you had fun as well, because that's all good too.
Yeah.
Just remember, guys, 1 a.m. a Tenet trailer comes out.
Is holding the line for the reopening of the cinemas. He hasn't caved yet.
I saw some arsehole tweet saying Nolan's a scumbag. He wants to release this film because he gets he's got a cut to get 20% of the box office profits. Some guys like, no wonder this hack wants the film out in July. He wants to cash in. I just replied saying, if it was about money, he would have already postponed this to next year. What he's trying to do is single-handedly save cinema. And I will wear a hazmat suit to watch that film if I need to.
Although he will make a lot of money because it's going to be the only film out. It's going to be like all 10 screens will be playing Tenet because there's nothing else out.
Until Wonder Woman in August. Which is very
imagine it inexplicably becomes the highest grossing film of all time, just through the fact that it's the only film out at the time.
Well, then, just before we go to answers, South Korea is re-showing every Nolan film in IMAX because I think their cinemas open up in a few weeks. So all the countries that cinemas are opening, Nolan's just chucking his films in like, get them ready, get them ready.
Yeah.
And yeah, so answers, guys. We're going to go through the 30 round first. I will put the 30 one, you guys can comment because I was talking to you.
Yeah, sure, go for it.
So question 1.
Character rounds. This is Hal 9000 from 2001 Space Odyssey. We had a quote from Hal earlier.
Question 2.
That is Trinity from The Matrix, the first one.
3.
This is Bishop from the second Alien film, Aliens. Not the first Alien film, but the character's name is Bishop Aliens.
Question 4.
I have no fucking idea what that is.
What? Do you want me to take this one? Do you want me to take this one, Tayte? This is the one and only Ironhide, weapons specialist from Transformers. No specific Transformers film, but he does only feature in the first 3. So I guess we'll accept Transformers, what was it, Revenge of the Fallen or Dark of the Moon? Why not? But it's Ironhide from Transformers. May he forever rust in peace. No pun intended. All the pun intended. What am I talking about?
Question 5.
This is Elliot from E.T. and we're moving on straight away before I make a dick joke.
Question 6.
That is Murph from Interstellar.
Question 7.
That is Gort from The Day the Earth Stood Still.
Isn't Gort? I mean, it doesn't sound like a sci-fi. It sounds like a sort of troll from like
character. Question
8.
That is Sonny. I did not kill him. I don't know what his last name is, but from iRobot, played by Alan Tudyk.
I did not murder him.
I did not murder him.
Alan Tudyk, one of the kind of robot kings, maybe we can say. K2SO and Sonny.
One Alan Tudyk film straight into another film of Alan Tudyk in. We have Captain Mal from Serenity.
Yeah, not Uncharted. And if you put Firefly, I'm sorry, you can't have the mark.
No, you can't, no.
Serenity was a film, believe it or not. Maybe from the most overhyped TV show in history, and that's the last I'm going to say. Question 10.
This is Lilu from Fifth Element.
Lilu and Stitch? That's a crossover I want to see. Get on it, Disney. I mean, you probably own the rights to the Fifth Element by this point. I don't even know who made the Fifth Element.
Right. So that was the 30 round. Comment the ones you got, and obviously we will start on the posters. So poster round, poster number 1 is Tron Legacy. What I should do, I should put like a little red thing around it so we can see the section we cropped. Yeah. But that's Tron Legacy. It's the Solar Sailor. Question number 2 is from the classic sci-fi film Metropolis, which I have not seen.
1920s movie.
Yeah, I think we kind of had to put it in here because it's like the original sci-fi, unless you've got the weird man on the moon thing, which I remember from Hugo. Question number 3. If you didn't guess it, it's E.T. I'm sorry, but if the wheels on the bike wasn't a clue, and a moon, and then even for Steven. Even Steven's great film, may I add. Great theory. Question number 4, the hardest one, is 12 Monkeys, which is the Brad Pitt film. I've not seen this. I've always been told I'd like it, so I should get onto it at some point. Question number 5 is probably one of the most disrespected films. I don't know why. War of the Worlds.
It was fine. I remember enjoying it. I thought it was fine.
I loved it. I remember this was my birthday in 2006. I then went straight to Toys R Us and got Lego Star Wars one. What a day.
I think the problem I have, I wouldn't have cast Tom Cruise. He is just Tom Cruise. I would have gone for a more like a character in it rather than Tom Cruise in action War of the Worlds film.
True story. My sister is scared of the sound from the tripod still. If you didn't get it, those foreheads and hair, that is the double duo of Ryan Gosling and Harrison Ford in Blade Runner 2049. I didn't want to put Jared Leto's face in because there'd be too many jokes. I'm sorry. But
Brinsley is really nitpicking. He said that 12 Monkeys, he'd say that it's more of a Bruce Willis film and not a Brad Pitt movie. I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's got both of them in it. But Bruce Willis is the main character.
Speaking of Bruce Willis, so the idea for this is when this sort of timer thing started, because it's all about time, I just thought, do you remember that really awful nose they had to put on Joseph Gordon-Levitt? So I've cropped it at each of their noses. It's not really obvious, but that is from the film Looper. I adore this film. That's probably that in Glass is probably the best film Bruce Willis has done for 20 years.
When he actually cared.
Yeah, exactly.
And wasn't kicked out of the Expendables movies.
Yeah. Question number 8 is the one and only Moon, starring Sam Rockwell. A fantastic film. Not Mute. Avoid Mutes. Question 9. If you didn't get it, it's unfortunately not Rogue One, starring director Orson Krennic. It is starring Ben Mendelsohn, though. It is Ready Player One. And
Orson Krennic? More like Awesome Krennic.
Yeah,
that is one of my favorite film posters over the last few years.
I mean, it's the guy. I mean, the guy that wrote it's like obviously like big. I think it's I forgot his name. Really, he's doing a lot of the stuff for Star Wars, like the sort of supporting posters, and he's obviously like a Drew Struzan fan. So he kind of said like he was handpicked by Spielberg, which is pretty cool. But Ready Player One was under key. That was actually really good. Yeah, it's got Krennic riding a Mecha Godzilla, guys. If you've not seen it, there's your selling point. Number 10 is a film I have not seen.
Oh, fantastic film.
Arrival. I have it on Blu-ray. I just think of Forrest Whitaker, and he is unfortunately been tainted to only ever knowing Saw Gerrera from this day onwards.
So we've got a lot of Rogue One callbacks, haven't we, in this? I love it.
It's really hard.
Not a single Rogue One question, fully enough.
Well, we didn't want to put Star Wars on.
Yeah.
But no, that was the post around. I'm curious to see what people put. What do they think was the hardest?
That is the end of our quiz. That is the
end. Comments from Henok. He's joined us late, but he did reply. He hasn't seen Gattaca.
That's
guys,
2.
I'm going to go ahead and say this right now. If you guys need to watch a film during this lockdown at any stage, go watch Gattaca. Gattaca is my favorite film of all time. I always put it up to whether it be Gattaca, Whiplash. There's always films which come in and everything like that, which will kind of challenge these films. But Gattaca is, personally for me, one of the most inspiring films that you can watch. It's such a fantastic sci-fi film. It is hard sci-fi. It's got brilliant acting in it. A phenomenal soundtrack as well. And one of the most intense scenes of someone trying to get up a staircase you will ever see. It is just a brilliant overall film. And it's one of those where I could just watch it on repeat. So I would highly recommend going and seeing it. And
okay, so out of 70 points, let us know how you did. Let's see who was the victor this week.
We will find out when people are spamming in the comments. Oh my god, I got like 60 and stuff like that.
And do stick around. Don't just drop your score and then close off the stream, because we will be announcing what our quiz is next week, next Thursday, again at 8:30 p.m. British time.
And we'll announce the kind of vote for the film for Saturday, which ties into all of this too. We haven't picked the 3 votes, but they will be on social media tonight.
Okay, we have a Brinsley with 57 out of 70. We've got Marco with 55 out of 70. So a draw so far between Samantha and Brinsley with 57 out of 70.
Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make a tiebreaker question, and then we can actually have it.
It can't be about Gattaca. Oh, we've already ruined my... Shall I get a film character? Guys, should we get a film character? Should we make it a photo?
Yes, and I think it would be the first person to comment gets that extra point between our 2 current leaders, Brinsley and Samantha. First person to comment this film character whilst George pulls it up.
I'm just need to make sure it's a science fiction character.
Hennick says that he joined kind of late, so we can't determine yet which score it was. That's fair enough.
If you do find out, guys, give me 57 more seconds. I'm getting a character. I think this is a hard one. You only need to guess the character name, not the film. Guys, this is going to be fun.
I hope that Brinsley and Samantha are hot on their keyboards, ready to go with this one. we know there's
countdown. I'm going to do a countdown before I put it on the screen.
There's going to be a delay anyway, so it doesn't matter.
5, 4, the name 3, 2, 1.
I know it's.
Leave it up. We want to see if there is anybody who's going to be commenting in there. I'm just going to sit there in the complete opposite pose, kind of,
Oh, that's the wrong way.
Guys, I think I've done well picking this one. This is a hard one.
We got people down in the comments here. We're waiting on the first one to come through. Oh my god, this is intense. This is really intense. See, we don't know what the delay is, which is a shame because
I'm not even going to say the actor's name.
This is really unfair because no one fucking knows this character.
Yeah, but that's the point. It's from a very famous sci-fi film.
It is
no one knows
a very infamous sci-fi film.
Very infamous sci-fi film. I'm sure that they, at the moment, if they've seen this photo, they're just.
Shall I give them 15 more seconds before I type
online? Just frantically trying to find out the character online.
I give them 15 seconds before I change it.
Brinsley's on the ropes. I can't remember his name.
It gets changed. If we don't see that name come up, I'm sure they're typing up right now what film he was in and everything like that. They're trying to come up with it and everything like that.
Right, guys, I've got a photo. I have a character.
Okay.
I'm going to give them until 5. I know there's a delay, so I'm going to go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What we doing best out of 3?
We need the character name.
No one commented. No one commented. You don't know it. They don't know it.
As quickly as possible.
No one knew it.
I don't know. Whoever comments gets it.
Whoever comments this first gets it.
Type frantic. Oh, Brinsley! Brinsley!
Win! Hello there.
Oh, that was close. That was close, though.
Everyone's coming in with their answers.
We need a tiebreaker. We need someone where someone gets it and someone doesn't.
I got Brinsley's thing in first. I'm not going to lie.
I saw. Was that too easy? Was I too easy on them?
I think that was too easy, but both got it right. So technically, the point still stands. They're both a draw.
Right,
can anyone guess the original guy?
Carl Roberts has got it. The other one was DJ, the incredibly memorable character from only the finest Star Wars movie in the saga, The Last Jedi.
Star Wars film. And I will fight.
So
you're insane, sir. You are insane.
Guys, I'm checking back on chat, and Brinsley came in first.
I know he did, but both of them got it.
Should we just do another one?
Yes.
Another one. Last one.
Someone says a quick time thing. I never think of Star Wars. I'm looking at my Blu-ray.
I've got one. If I can.
If you pull it up quickly.
Yeah, wait a sec.
I do a countdown so they're aware. Sorry, Brinsley. It was too easy.
Everyone stick around. We will be announcing next week's quiz after we've done this. We need to get an all-out winner.
All we need from this is the film. Okay, guys?
The film?
Yeah, we don't need the character. We just need the film. Okay, I just need to be able to make sure I can upload this. I have no idea where I've saved it, so this is going to be interesting. Okay. Are we ready, guys? All we need here is the film.
Do a countdown. 3,
2, 1, go. Oh, wow.
Well played.
Wait, not the background, you fool.
I did it
the worst thing is I know what this film is.
That's even harder. I mean, I'll upload the actual thing.
Bring it, share it on screen, dude.
I want to see if anyone actually gets it from that.
No.
It's a way I can drag it to...
It's fine, I've got it. Okay. Ready?
Consummate professional, Tayte.
He's already got it, man. He's already got it.
He got it. I'm sorry.
Shit.
Brinsley gets the win here. Brinsley gets the win for that. That is a mad effort.
he was straight in.
The live feature film.
Yeah.
And he got it from it being in the background as well. So
yeah,
we'll allow it. We'll allow it. Brinsley, you take the win, sir.
Wow. That was surprising.
Okay. Right.
I to say about that. That's just like fantastic.
Brinsley's victory speech. Boom. Okay. Well, congratulations, Brinsley. Well played. We have a fair.
And if someone's watching on repeat later on, if you did get 58 originally, comment it, and we'll just completely dismiss this.
Yeah.
But
Okay,
no, that was the sci-fi quiz. I'm actually quite happy. I thought it was a lot harder than last week, but people's scores seem to be good, which is a very good thing. Tayte, Chris, I'm repping your favourite stars from here. Sorry, I just wanted to add that in. But
okay. The next quiz is going to be a comedy movie quiz. So this covers any area of comedy. It could be sci-fi comedy, could be action comedy, could be romantic comedy. Any area of comedy is covered in the next quiz. So I think this one's going to be really fun putting together, and I think it's going to be really fun for you guys when we finally get it done. We do have a few options already for the stream, which is going to be taking place on Saturday. I don't think we're going to reveal them quite yet. But
no, we'll put them on Twitter tonight.
Keep an eye on social medias. We'll be putting up things which you can vote on YouTube, on any of our social medias as well. So that'll be on Twitter and Facebook. Can't do on an Instagram for some strange reason. Because they don't allow that kind of
YouTube community. I think Chris has done it as well.
Yes,
yeah,
YouTube
community. Get your votes in. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube community. We'll be posting the 3 films tonight for the watch along that we'll be doing at 8 p.m. UK time on Saturday. And obviously, to tie in with the quiz for next week, they are going to be comedy films. Now, comedy is subjective, and that's why we're going to give you 3 prime examples of great comedy films. And you guys obviously get to vote on which one we watch for that one. So that's going to be fun. So we hope to see you all on that one. As we said, follow those links down below for all the details on that. Real quickly, we have, thank you for putting this together. First time taking part and really enjoyed it. Thanks, Carl. Thanks for tuning in. Indefinitely for like the next good few Thursdays, we will be going live with a new film genre quiz of some kind. So hope to see you on the next one. Comedy quiz. I think we've said everything. Thank you to everyone tuning in, playing along. You've all been great sports, and we'll see you on the next video. Take care, guys.